Hey, Brian from Kindle Autopilot here, just continuing this mini-series on the concept and idea of outsourcing and why that's important. So we talked last video about the two types of outsourcing you can do, the creative side as well as the repetitive tasks of actually publishing a book, and how if you're first starting with Kindle Publishing, start with the creative side and outsource that through sites like Fiverr.com, and then focus on getting virtual assistants to do some of the repetitive tasks for you once you actually start to learn the process of Kindle Publishing. Now, what I said is important is that once you start to outsource those repetitive tasks, you can really start to focus on what I call the 80-20 principle of Kindle Publishing, that 20% of the work that's going to get you 80% of the results. So understand, if you're not to the point of outsourcing your 80% of the repetitive tasks yet, that's okay. Don't worry about that. Understand that you have to learn the process, but while you're going through the process, I want to tell you what I believe is the most important things that you should be focusing on and learning as much as you can, whether it's from videos that I'm producing about these topics or anyone that you can find that's successful in Kindle Publishing. Learn everything you can about these topics, because if you can basically master these three things that I'm going to talk about, you can make money in Kindle Publishing. It's really that simple. Everything else, you just outsource, focus on these three things. So those three things are going to be the niche and keywords that you pick, it's going to be the cover that you use, and then it's going to be the content. Now, the niche and the keywords are going to be the most important. After that comes the cover, and then after that comes the content. Because as much as we like to believe that people don't judge your book by its cover, they do. That's what attracts people to you. So if you have a good cover in a good niche with good keywords, you're going to get more exposure and you're going to get more sales. Now, it's important to have good content with those books, of course, because that will limit the amount of negative reviews you receive, because your book actually has quality content that provides some sort of value for people. So understand the content is absolutely important. They're not just going to judge your book on the content, that's what's going to, or on the cover rather, that's going to get them in the door. But you have to sell them by actually giving them something that they want to actually read and aren't going to pick apart because it's just an awful book. So those are the three things. That's the 20% of your business. If you can learn everything you can about how to find a good niche and good keywords, how to create an awesome cover, and then how to create good content, I promise you, you can master Kindle Publishing and make as much money as you want. Now, to be sure, some of these things are subjective. You're going to try some keywords and go into some niches, and guess what? It's not going to work. You're going to try some covers, guess what? It's not going to work. It's not going to be a slam dunk home run every single time. Now, as you go through the process, you will get better. You will become more creative. You will be able to have a better eye for what's going to work for you, and you'll be able to build off of successes that you've had in the past and leverage those for future books. But understand, you can learn as much as you want to learn about these three things, and still, until you actually go out and practice it, you're going to have absolutely no feedback loop to give you that information that's telling you whether or not what you're doing is working. So understand, I can talk to you about, until we're blue in the face about these three things, but until I go out there and practice myself, until you go out there and practice yourself and find what works, it just has to be the experience that eventually catches up to you over time. But I want to fill you in on that secret. You focus on those three things while you're learning the Kindle Publishing process. Focus all your effort and your learning into those three things. I promise you, you can skyrocket your way in your Kindle Publishing business. I promise you that. And of course, outsource the rest. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next one.